Our book, Almost Home, is rooted in a set of questions that I started to think about more than 20 years ago. Right after law school, I showed up at Covenant House in New York City, fresh out of Georgetown Law Center. I had a fellowship for 2 years to do direct legal services work with the kids who were mostly 18, 19, 20, 21. It was a poverty law movement. It was essentially housing court work and family court work and immigration work. And I'll never forget the first young person I met. So September 7th, 1992, back when I had hair, I don't know if I can remember that, was Benny, and she came into the office, and she told a story that was so different than anything in my life that I can remember feeling, that feeling when you stand up too quickly and you start to get head spins. It just moved me to a place of realizing how unprepared I was to work in a place of such profound suffering for young people. When I got to Covenant House, and I met these extraordinary, often courageous, brave, interesting young people, and learned that the least interesting thing about them was their homelessness. That they were artists and poets and students and athletes and rappers and teachers, that I became so engaged in their stories that I wanted to know more about them, and I wanted to cheerlead for them, and I wanted to help them. And there was nothing about my DNA that made me unique. Everybody who got into that space in Covenant House or in any of the great runaway and homeless youth programs across the country and start working with young people get turned on by them and want to figure out a way to love them and help them and be the scaffolding for them. So I knew that if we could both answer these questions, what makes one's spirit come alive, and if we could show in a deep and meaningful way the faces of 6 or 7 very diverse homeless young people across Canada and the United States and bring you into their lives, that people would get excited and the labels would get stripped away and that people would set themselves into the movement of being more for young people.